All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to the channel. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So here's the one that you guys have been asking for. Here's the one that you guys have been wanting to hear, okay? Are prison guards, correctional officers abusing, physically beating up inmates? All right. Before I get to that, let me break it down to you guys. If you ask an inmate, hey, how did myself conduct himself? He's going to say, oh, he was respectful. He was fair. The dude was understanding. He communicated, okay? You ask another inmate the same question about me, that dude's going to tell you, oh, that guy fucking stomped me out. That guy's a fucking asshole. Both of those stories are true, okay? That's what I need you guys to understand. The media, maybe your loved one's stories, maybe the misconception has gotten everything so twisted and discombobulated, okay? You guys have to understand something. As correctional peace officers, we're humans. We're humans, we're men, we're women. The same fashion that inmates told me, hey, you better treat me like a man. I'm a man first and foremost. That same concept goes both ways, okay? That's it. Bottom line is that we're humans. We're people, okay? And I used to tell my staff members, you don't go to work to be punching bags. You don't go to work to be pin cushions, okay? Safety, 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 safety. Keep your head on a swivel and watch your back. Watch your guys' back, right? The environment that we're in. Let's keep it real. You will hear nothing but the truth, nothing but the real. 99.9% of people that end up in prison have committed a crime. Okay, some violent crimes. Okay, I have seen those Netflix documentaries where they get out after years and years of an unwrongful arrest, and you know that's sad. Okay, that's unfortunate. With that being said, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Okay, it was February 2015. I had just promoted to sergeant. All right, I already told you guys I started at Centinela and I promoted to Donovan. A whole nother world. All right. I land on an SNY yard, me thinking, oh, everything's cool. SNY, level 3. I was brand new as a sergeant. They have this thing called HS meds at 8 o'clock at night. For those that have worked at prisons or mental health inmates or mental health institutions, the line is longer for medications, right? So that's what we were doing. And I was a sergeant. I was standing in front of the program office. All right. In housing unit 17, I hear the alarm go off. It's like a buzzing sound, right? Something told me to run. All right. Like, one of those things that you get gut feelings or whatever. Plus, I wasn't doing shit. I was just standing there. And anytime I heard an alarm go off without a radio transmission being transmitted first, I always automatically assume the worst, staff assault, right? Because that's kind of what happens. If you don't have time to get on your radio, you're going to hit your button if you're getting assaulted, if you're a cop in the building. I haul ass. I go in there. I go in through the rotunda. I look at the podium area. I see an inmate in the prone position. I see a couple officers like kind of dog piled on top of them somewhat, right? And I'm trying to gather. The alarm is blaring loud as fuck in the building. And I'm trying to gather fast what's happening, right? And I'm assuming, okay, was this a one-on-one? All right, if so, where's the other inmate? Okay, but no, why are they in the podium area? That's kind of out of bounds for the inmate. And I'm gathering shit, right? I hand up my keys to turn off the audible alarm, the loud sounding alarm. My baton had already been drawn, right? Because that's something I learned in Sentinella. Prior to running into a housing unit, I expand my baton, right? Because history proves Calipat inmates ambushed the officers as they came through the rotunda. It's on YouTube, right? So we do things for a reason, right? Because of the violent environment that we're in and the propensity for violence. My baton's out. I hear the officer say, "He stabbed me, Sarge." I fucking instantly look at dude's hand, right? And his hand was face down, and I see the weapon pointing out like this. With all my might, I hit the dude with my baton on his forearm, and I broke his forearm, right? He swings it back like this, yelling in pain. Then I hear the officer say, "He has it tied to his hand." So I'm like, what the fuck? I zoom in again, sure as shit. The dude got his bed sheet, ripped it up, and I'm assuming he had his celly tie it to his hand just because the way it was woven in between his fingers and around his wrist. But I'm like, oh, fuck. So then I proceed to start stomping on the guy's hand, right? And I'm stomping this dude out. I'm trying to disable his hand from stabbing other people, okay? I'm trying to stop this inmate from hurting my cops. Mind you, we had a green light to kill him, okay? Understand that deadly force is authorized in a situation like that, okay? And understand this, where we're coming from. Policies and procedures, safety and security. His head was up against the podium area. The setup is different at Donovan. They have like a board right there at the desk where they put their IDs, the inmates' IDs, so they can know who's in there. I didn't have access to that inmate's head. If I had access to that inmate's head, I would have taken advantage of that opportunity, okay? Not because I'm an asshole, not because I'm mean, not because I want to hurt people, but because this is happening, okay? This is transpiring in front of me. I'm stomping this dude out for the life of me, right? Somebody yells, "Get the cut down tool." Cut down tool is a pair of scissors that are like rounded, like medical scissors. We usually use those when an inmate is hanging in their cell, okay? And I'm exposing you guys to the reality of it. When they're dead, we cut the noose with the shears, right? And then we preserve the noose as evidence. Anyways, we're using force all the way through. We're using force, because it's authorized. Because if we don't stop this individual, he's gonna kill somebody. Okay, he already stabbed the officer, right? In the chest, good thing we have a vest. In the bicep, you're getting my drift here. We are working this dude. And we finally cut off the weapon, right? We cut it off. Fuck, we're exhausted. The adrenaline dump. We restrain him. Now we have to get him from point A to point B. Now we have to get medical attention for the officers, for the inmate. Like, there's a whole process that goes into this, okay? I haven't even got into report writing yet. So, the dude gets escorted to the holding cell in the gym, right? Me coming from Sentinella, the inmate was a white inmate. His race was white. I assumed it was a hit on the cop because why else would anybody fucking tie a weapon to their hand and go after a cop if it wasn't a sanctioned hit? It doesn't work that way at Donovan, all right? Sometimes you get people strung out on drugs, crazy EOP, level 4 override. Mind you, this inmate was a level 4, and the powers that be, the managers, Sacramento, they love to override inmates, good behavior overrides, onto level 3 facilities. Fucking sometimes even level 2s. Sometimes even level 1s. So that's what this guy was. He was an EOP level 4 SNY override, um, which is extremely dangerous, right? So I thought it was a sanctioned hit with the whites. So we gaffled a couple whites up. They were just like, "Hey, fuck, we don't know what's up with that dude." But at the time, I didn't believe their story. Once we got everything situated, yes, of course, they got released from ADSEC after a proper investigation, proper interviews, and it was a one-man mission. Dude was strung out on meth for like 5 days, and made up some fucking story in his head and went after a cop. One of the good news is the cop is okay, right? And he's now a lieutenant, which is awesome. And I'm extremely proud of that individual, right? Just the growth, watching the growth of these people, especially the struggles that they went through, struggles that I was there with some of them, right? So that inmate sued me, right? Like fucking civil lawsuit where I had to get lawyers. I had to answer this guy's questions. He filed a 602 on me, saying that I deprived him of medical, which I clearly did not when I called for 2 ETVs, 2 ambulances, one for the staff and one for the inmate, who even ended up going out to the hospital, right? So you can't deprive somebody medical if they're out at the hospital getting medically treated. Staff complaint, right? So I don't know the misconception that we are maliciously beating people up. And even after that, man, I didn't lose my cool as far as I didn't take it out on the inmate population. The next day, I didn't come in and just start beating up white inmates. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, I was more strict with the enforcement of the policies. Like, hey, we're going to pat down everybody now. We're going to ensure that you're only taking state-issued cups into the chow hall, okay? We might even start hitting extra pads today, right? That kind of stuff, all right? We're not, nobody else got use of force after that, right? And use of force is only utilized when there's an incident, right? Whether it's inmates fighting on inmates or inmates on staff, riots. So I just wanted to clear that up with you guys, man. Like, it's sad, it's frustrating, and I'm glad maybe this is why I'm doing this channel. So you guys can see, like, hey, on my last episode, I said there's a such thing as necessary violence, right? And somebody hit me up in the comments like, oh, well, what do you think is necessary? Well, I'm pretty sure you guys would agree that in that situation, you have an inmate with a weapon tied to his hand stabbing an officer. That is required necessary violence. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Not everybody that's a prison guard is a lame. Not everybody that is a correctional officer is a square, right? Some of us have been around. Some of us have seen some things. Some of us have been involved in things, okay? And it's kind of the luck of the draw. If an inmate, let's say if an inmate comes and tries to attack me personally, that dude's going to run into a brick wall, okay? And it's not going to end well for that inmate. Mind you, people want to know, oh, are we beating them up after we put the handcuffs on? Are we doing extra? The answer is no. Check this out. If I go to work every day and I'm expecting, because I got a daughter, I got a family, I got a home, I got 2 dogs. If I'm going to work expecting to get attacked, I'm going to be safe. In my mind, I'm going to be ready. Okay? So I'm watching their behavior. I'm watching their hands. I'm watching how they're doing stuff different than they did the day before. The same way they watch us. So if the inmate comes to attack me, I'm already ready for that. And then I'm going to smash. Right? And oh God, he used the word smash. I'm sorry for my vocabulary. What I meant to say was I'm going to react in a manner that's going to subdue that attacker, overcome resistance, affect custody, right? And gain compliance with a lawful order. I just told you guys policy, right? So it's not my fault I'm good at what I do. It's not my fault that I know policy, I know how to defend myself, and I got my head on a swivel. That inmate got the shit end of the stick that day. Now, if that same inmate went up against a new cop, that's going to be a whole different story. That new cop is probably not going to expect it. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the knowledge. He's probably going to get fucked up. And I've seen cops get fucked up, right? Do we go and get back for that cop? No, we don't do that. You can't do that. There's body cameras now. There's AVSS video cameras up on the ceiling, but even I know what you're thinking. Oh, but before that, you guys were doing that. No, there's report writing. There's the person up in the gun post has to document what he saw from that perspective, right? You got nurses walking around. You got psychologists walking around. You got managers. There's no way you're going to get away with that. Absolutely not. And like I said, you can have a cop that is not cool with that, and if it did happen, it's going to get reported. There it is. It cannot. There's too many factors where that situation is not going to be possible. And I know you're probably disappointed. You shouldn't be disappointed. You should be relieved. Like, oh, thank God there's measures in place to prevent horrible acts from happening against our loved ones. There's complaint processes. And don't say that the complaint processes are ineffective, because I've had to do interviews on an inmate because he claimed a ghost raped him. Okay, a ghost, right? So we have to go through with this shit. We have to document it. It goes up past me, outside of the institution, right? So relax. If you're looking for drama, there's other channels for that, right? Everything's all good, right? Everything is all good. It's about fucking safety, peace. I don't condone violence. Right? But if violence comes to my doorstep, it's not my fault. That's my area of expertise, okay? Not bragging, not boasting. It's just kind of the way my life experiences have played out, right? From the military, from Iraq, to working in a prison for 16 years, right? I'm not a bad guy. It came with growth, right? It came with growth. You get, the older you get, the wiser you get. Even youngsters coming in. As a supervisor, that was my role, to reel those cops in, to school them, to keep them in line, right? So give credit to the supervisors that are out there that are pushing that right, correct line. There are a lot of good cops, a lot of good supervisors, the majority, right? There's bad apples. They get caught, right? They get caught up in a wreck. They do it. As soon as they do something stupid, it doesn't take long before they're gone. Okay? It's not a fucking cesspool where we got just corruption going. So thank you guys for hearing this one. I got so many more, man. I got so much more to talk about. And hit me up on the comments, right? I read your guys' comments. I see, okay, this is what they want to hear. We'll go from there. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification button to get these new videos when they come out. Have a good one.